That's right, folks. Welcome to On the Money with Ryan Wheelis. He's the founder of Allied Wealth. You know, you are announcing things like retirenowhouston.com, which we've had, but then you just said retirenowAustin.com. What's the expansion? What are you doing here, Ryan? Are we going all over the state of Texas?
Well, we've been serving the state of Texas for quite some time through our Dave Ramsey SmartVestor Pro program, which we've been in for nearly 8 years now. One of the largest providers of SmartVestor Pro services in the state of Texas. And so we're just moving the radio show, man. We actually got a call from some folks over at KLBJ in Austin, and they invited us on the station to join the station and be on the show. And I'm like, hey, guys, I lived in Austin when I first moved to Houston. It's near and dear to my heart, so let's do it. So we now have offices in Austin servicing the Austin markets, and a lot of great folks over there need some great advice, need some good education, and need some help when it comes to living their dreams and goals that they wish to live in their golden years, which is why we're taking the plunge to help those folks out. Of course, we're also near and dear to Houston. That's where we started the company. That's where I live full time. I raised my children. Big Houston fan. So, we're not leaving Houston by all means. We're just expanding and growing. And folks, most people want to work with a company that's in a positive trajectory up, not one closing down. I remember back in the day, Spike, I was sitting across from some people, and they were like, yeah, Ryan, you're kind of new to the business. We want to work with you. We like you a lot, but our current guy's been doing this for like 45 years. And I asked him, I said, how old are you? They said, we're 65 and 63. I said, okay. How old is your advisor? And they go, well, he's 67. And I said, well, what are we sitting here talking about right now? And they said, retirement. And what is your age again? What is your advisor's age? Whoa, right? We didn't think about that. We didn't think about that, right? We just thought we want to be with somebody with all this tenure in the industry. And so we thought we were doing the right thing. And ultimately, what they found out was their advisor couldn't retire. Now, you're sitting here taking advice from somebody who can't retire. Think about that for a minute, folks. It's important to know who you're working with, okay? And a younger person might be there longer than someone who's older getting ready to retire. So if that's your advisor, at least make sure, A, they have the ability to retire. Ask them, could you retire today if you wanted to? They should say yes, right? Because they should be drinking their own Kool-Aid. And more importantly, if they, and they need to have a succession plan. And you need to know that person, right? I'm thinking of a client right now, love him dearly, talk to him all the time. And he's one of my largest clients. And if I said, hey, your new advisor is Colton, not to dig on Colton. Colton's, been at Fidelity for quite a while, came over to join our firm recently. But he's new, he's really new in the business. And so do you want Colton looking after your life savings, right? And especially if you don't have a relationship or you don't know Colton. So it's one of those things where it's really important to have a good relationship. So anyway, you got me on a rant about going into Austin and what we're doing over there.
Yeah, You wanted to talk about baby boomers and what they're going to be, I guess, changing for retirement. What does that mean, Ryan?
Yeah, well, there's basically, and we'll talk about in this video the first 5 things. There's actually 10 in total, so tune in for the next video too, folks. We're doing a little YouTube stuff here today on the radios, folks, if it sounds weird. So, but, we got 5 things, and we're talking about how baby boomers are defining retirement, because the reality, Spike, is the retirement that was lived in the past is not going to be the retirement that's lived in the future. And what I mean by that is most people back in the day retired with a pension after 30, maybe even 40 years with the same company. And now they don't. They retire working with 4 or 5 companies. They retire with no pension. They retire with no gold watch. And the onus of saving and preparing for their retirement is on them. So we're saying that baby boomers are redefining retirement. That's what's happening, folks. So there's quite a few ways it's going to happen. The first one is going to be living longer. If you're listening to me right now, and you can hear my voice, and you're in your 60s, you are going to live longer than any generation in the history of this country, or the world, for that matter, okay? And so the reality is longevity is a very, very big risk. So longevity will define the new retirement. We're going to live longer than we ever thought possible, which means, folks, our resources have to go a lot further than we ever thought they would have. I have clients, Spike, they say, hey, Ryan, run my retirement plan to 85. I'm like, I'll do it. It's going to look better, but I want to keep it at 90. Just because if you live to 90, you still have some money. And if you don't, you die with some. And I would much rather die with some money than die with no money, okay? The next one is no pension, all right? Less than 14% of the companies in America have pensions. And more importantly, the people that get the pensions have two options. They can take the pension in a lump sum. Some of them do. Most of them do, by the way. And some take the payout, okay? They have options. But even the people that have pensions don't take the payout. They take the lump sum instead, Spike, which is interesting, all right? So, it's one of these things where if you're gonna pass up a source of income that's going to be there for you through the ups and downs of market cycles, through the ups and downs of the interest rate environment, does it make sense to pass up the pension payments and take the lump sum and risk, investing that lump sum in a way that produces income for you as long as you need?
It also makes me nervous on the lump sum. And again, it's their money. They can do with it what they want, but we're trying to talk to them about longevity and how it's different. When you take the lump sum, I'm concerned when somebody wants to go buy the truck with it as well and then say we're going to invest the rest, or the boat, or maybe a little bit more land to go and enjoy in retirement. It's their money, but we've got to talk about having enough dollars to be able to be and stay retired income-wise. Which comes first?
Spike, that's really important, and you alluded to something very strong there, because the next thing after living longer and having no pension is managing their own investments. This is another way baby boomers are redefining retirement. It's another way retirement is not the same as it was in the past as it is today. Managing their own investments. This is important, okay? The onus of saving for your retirement has been put on you, folks. It happened around 1978 when the 401k plan was introduced to the Internal Revenue Code. What's really interesting about this, Mike, is back in those days, guess how much money the average person had in the stock market?
Back at what year?
78.
Oh gosh, the average person didn't have
the answer was
5,000.
Little to none.
Yeah.
Because all the investing in the market was done by these companies with these pension funds. That's where the money in the markets was. Okay? And so very few people had money in the stock market. They didn't have to worry about it. They didn't have to worry about buying stocks. They didn't have to worry about if Apple was going to go up or down, or the Dow was going to go up or down, or if rates were going to go up and down, because their company took care of it for them and gave them a pension. Doesn't happen anymore. Now we're forced to manage our own investments. And Spike, I've seen this happen quite a bit, and it can be scary. We get the money, okay, and it's been locked up in our 401k plan all these years, but all of a sudden it's now ours, and we do want to go buy the boat. We do want to go buy the RV. We do want to go buy the second home, all right? Pretty scary stuff. Spike, the next way the baby boomers were forced or are reinventing retirement is taxes through required minimum distributions. You see, you've been putting your money in this 401k all these years. Guess what? When it comes time to age 72, 73, 74, 75, you're forced to start taking distributions out of your 401k plan, your IRAs. Okay? Folks, these distributions go up every year, and they're 100% taxable at ordinary income tax rates. So it's one of these things where taxation has become a very big threat to the longevity of your retirement plan.
And just some perspective on that, those RMDs, I think, doesn't it start somewhere around 3.7 or 3.8? And then you say every single year, your required minimum distributions, not suggested, your required minimum distributions from your tax-deferred accounts, they go up and up and up. So when we say your income that you're pulling out, you're talking about the income from those tax-deferred accounts.
That's exactly right, Spike. And Uncle Sam, who is $34 trillion in debt, is just licking his chops,
35.
by the way.
35. And then 36. It's every 100 days right now with no changes, it goes up $1 trillion.
Another trillion. Just throw another trillion on the fire, right? So, Spike, another one that's interesting is not just RMDs, it's part-time jobs. A lot of people are finding themselves in part-time jobs to kind of bring some income in. I've got a lot of clients, believe it or not, that don't need to do it, by the way, but they Uber drive. They love it. They love the social aspects of it. They drive Uber. Nothing wrong with that, folks. Spike was talking earlier that he sees people working at Home Depot. We certainly hope that's because they want to, not because they have to. But Spike, let's be real. Many people are unprepared for retirement, and they have to work part-time. And thank God those part-time jobs are out there, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of these things, folks, where these are 5 things that baby boomers are doing to really redefine retirement here in the 21st century. In the next video, we're going to talk about the next 5 things because there's 5 more to talk about, 10 total. But it's interesting. So, folks, listen, these are concerns. Longevity, no pension. How do I manage my own investments the next 30 and 40 years and not make a mistake that could cause me to lose half my life savings and run out of money in my golden years? How do I deal with taxes? And, hey, if I don't have enough, do I consider a part-time job? These are all things that we answer through our financial flight plan that we offer here on the show. Folks, pick up the phone and call us, 844-944-7555. Again, 844-944-7555. You can also check us out at retirenowhouston.com or retirenowhaustin.com. All right? Either one of those websites will take you to a place where you can book a meeting and a strategy session with my team of advisors to help address the concerns of living longer, address the concerns of no pension, address the concerns of how to manage your own investments, addressing the concern of taxation in retirement, likely your biggest expense, and do you need to go get a part-time job?
Whether you're listening to us on the radio right now or you're watching the YouTube channel, you can get started on your own no-cost financial flight plan. Income, taxes, fees, how much risk are you taking, how and when to take your Social Security, those Medicare elections that come up towards the end of the year, those long-term care selections and protection of your own assets. All of that and what we call tactical investment management is all part of your no-cost financial flight plan, and it starts with a phone call right here. 844-944-7555. That's 844-944-7555. For those of you who are listening live on the radio right now, there are people standing by right now to schedule your appointment, or you can do it yourself. Go to retirenowhouston.com or retirenowhaustin.com. You listen to Ryan Wheelis and On the Money.